Hello, mighty companions. Welcome to the way of mastery, mighty companions. I'm Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to the way of mastery. We're going to go deep, and I want you to know that we are going to allow the way of mastery to come into you. Mighty companions, we're going to be in the way of mastery. I'm Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Facebook Live. We're going to be on page 343. In the way of knowing, we're going to be on page 343. Abiding as love in each present moment. Abiding as love in each present moment. That's what we're going to be focused in on. It's on page 343 in the way of mastery. Abiding as love in each present moment. That's where we're going to be. In the way of mastery. I'm happy to be with you, all my mighty companions. Don't forget, we want to share the video on our timeline right next to the comments. You get a chance to share the video. This is Earl Purdy. I'm going to be in the way of mastery in the section called Abiding as Love in Each Present Moment on page 343. So I want to invite you to take a minute to allow yourself to breathe and just relax. Take a breath. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. And others may seem to be quite startling. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you, and their use will show you that the ideas are true. We're going to be on page 343 in the way of knowing, lesson 30, abiding as love in each present moment. So let's go through this together. Let's see if we can hear the message that Yeshua is trying to give us rather than analyze the message that Yeshua is trying to give us. So let's start with the first paragraph that starts with the peace of Christ. So what does it take for you to have the peace of Christ, which is the peace of love, the peace of your one self? Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to see you. That's the beauty of doing this live, is we get a chance to interact with each other, and I get a chance to see your comments. As a matter of fact, let me get you up so I can see your comments while I'm teaching. So what does the peace of Christ depend on? Well, the peace of love depends on your willingness to abide in the present, for no other reason than to extend creation. So what Yeshua just told us was that if you really want peace, then you have to use the present moment to extend creation. What does it mean to extend creation? It means to extend love. So having the peace of Christ, having the peace of the true self depends on what? Your willingness to live right now in the present, but for no other reason than to extend love. So what does to be one? You want to be one who receives love. To be one who acknowledges the presence of love, breathes love, and then allow love to flow through the body, mind, allow love to flow through the voice, allow love to flow through the handwritten word, allow love to flow through the wink of an eye, whatever it is. Then you are done with whatever it is in that moment, and then you're on to the next moment. So what does it mean to abide in the peace of Christ? You have to be willing to be in the present moment, extending love no matter what you are doing. And when you're through extending love in that moment, then you extend love into the next moment. So the peace of Christ comes only to that mind that withdraws valuation from the past and future and surrenders into the present. So what would it take for you and me to experience true peace right now? You would have to stop valuing what's happened in the past to have true peace right now, the peace of Christ. You have to stop valuing what you think is going to happen in the future, and you surrender into the present. And in the first paragraph, it said that in the present, you are supposed to be extending creation, which is extending love. So the peace of Christ comes from not valuing the past, not valuing the future, surrendering to right now, and while you are in the now, you are extending love. You are extending creation. Why is it that most people do not feel love? The next sentence says, for only in the present can love be felt, known, and extended. You can only feel love right now. You can only know love right now. And you can only extend love right now. Why is that true? Because Yeshua just told us in the way of mastery, only in the present can love be felt. You can only feel love right now. You can only feel love right now. You can only know love right now. You can only extend love right now. So what is a creator? A creator is a mind that knows that you can only feel love in the present, you can only know love in the present, and you can only extend love in the present. When your mind, though, knows that, then your mind is a creator. So the creative mind is a mind that only wants to extend love in the present. It's a mind that is not valuing the past. It's a mind that's not valuing the future. It's a mind that's surrendered into the right now, extending love right now, because it knows that I can only know love in the present, I can only feel love in the present, and I can only extend love in the present. And when you're knowing love, feeling love, and extending love right now, then your mind is a creator. So if your mind is a creator, through that mind, the perfection of love's extension flows. And how does the extension of love flow? It flows without impediment. It flows without impediment. It flows without obstacle, and it flows without mistake. So how do you get your love to extend without making mistakes? How do you get your love to extend without hitting up against obstacles? How do you get your love to extend without impediment? You do that through being in the present, because that's the only place you can fear, know, and extend love. You can have love without obstacles and without blocks when you stop valuing the past and stop valuing the future. You can know love without a block when you allow love right now to flow through every single thing that you do. And the only way you allow love to flow through every single thing that you do, according to the way of mastery, is you must have a willingness to live in the right now. So if I'm sitting up here talking to you, but I'm thinking about something that's happened in the past, what happened today, or I'm thinking about something that's going to happen in the future, then I'm actually not extending love to you right now. If you are listening to me right now, and what you're doing is you're analyzing it and you're trying to figure it out, even if you're trying to figure out how you're going to apply this, it's still taking you out of the present. Because in most cases, you're thinking about something that's happened in the past, or something that you may want to say to someone in the future, or, so what you want to do to know love, you have to go, the only point of this present moment is to extend love. The only point of us being together right now is to extend love. Through everything that we're saying and everything that we're doing, we should be extending love. And then in the next minute, we are to extend love to each other again. So we're not communicating with each other and thinking about the past, and we're not communicating with each other and thinking about the future. What are we doing? We're surrendering to being in this now moment with each other so that we can feel love, so that we can know love, and so that we can create love. And that makes your mind a creator. And if your mind is creative, which means your mind is focused into extending love right now without thinking about the past and without thinking about the future, then you're going to have the perfection of the extension of love. And when you have a perfect extension of love, then love extends without impediment, love extends without obstacle, and love extends without mistakes. So in that paragraph that I just covered, it just showed us exactly how to allow love to come through us without any obstacles. We just heard that. Those first two paragraphs told us exactly how to have love extend and experienced and felt and known right now. So how can you tell if you are doing the way of mastery correctly. If you're doing the way of mastery correctly, what you would be doing is you would be remembering what the way of mastery just told us about how to extend love. So the mind then that is free. So what is the way of mastery's definition of a mind that's free? The way of mastery says a mind that is free is a mind that's free from the egoic need to make. A mind that's free isn't trying to make things out of a sense of lack. A mind that's free is not trying to control anything. A mind that is free is not trying to shape anything exactly the way it thinks that it wants it. A mind that is free is a mind that's free from identification with the past. A mind that is free is a mind that's no longer identifying with the past or what you experienced in the past or what you learned in the past. A mind that is free. Do you know that a mind that is free? Do you know that a mind that is free is a mind that has no anxiety over what's going to happen in the future? So if you have a lot of anxiety about something that's going to happen in the future, your mind isn't free. If you are identifying with your past experiences and your past learnings, your mind isn't free. If you're busy trying to make something happen, trying to control something, or trying to shape something the way that you think it has to be in order for you to be happy, then the Course says the mind is not free. So what is it that a mind that is free does? A mind that is free abides in the perfectly eternal now. So if you got a free mind, you are living in the now. If you're living in the now, then your mind is free. If your mind is free, you're free of your ego's need to control, you're free of your ego's need to make, and you're free of your ego's need to shape. You're free from identification with your past. You don't have any anxiety about the future, and you're living in the right now. For no other reason than to receive the awareness that your mind abides in love's perfect presence and then allows that mysterious reality through that mind right where it is, as it is. In other words, your mind, you don't need to make a show. If your mind is free, if you're extending love, you don't need to make a show. This is not about having a prescribed set of activities to do. I'm not talking about you having a certain activities that you got to do. What am I saying from the way of mastery? You are merely present in the moment and you let love live you. Ask love to live you. I ask love to live me. Instead of me trying to live love, the way of mastery says, love lives you. So are you willing to let love live you instead of you trying to live love? So how can you tell if the mind is free? You don't have a need to make anything. You don't have a need to control anything. You don't have a need to shape anything. How can you tell when your mind is free? You are free from identification with the past. You don't have any anxiety over the future, and you're living in the now moment. How can you tell if your mind is free? You don't need to make a show. You don't see yourself as having to have a prescribed set of activities to do. You are merely present in the moment, and you want love to live you. Now, a holy relationship. What is a holy relationship? That's right, Demola. I desire to live in love's perfect presence all the time. Bree says, me too. Myrna says, I ask love to live me. Phoenix says, love, live me. Shannon says, ask love to live me. Bree says, wow, love lives me. So what are we doing? We are being in the present moment, right now, doing what the way of mastery tells us to do. We're not analyzing the way of mastery. We are merely doing what Yeshua, the master, is asking us to do. We are hearing the message. There's nothing more important than allowing yourself to hear the message. Now, just like Paris is saying right now, she definitely doesn't have a free mind. That's not negative, Paris. That is great. That's what I love about the truth. The truth gets me out of denial, and the truth allows me to see where I am. If I want to go to California, it's important that I know I'm in Denver. If I think I'm in Chicago, I'm going to have a wrong journey. So it's okay. If we already had free minds, if we were already practicing love in every moment, we wouldn't have any need to study the way of mastery. So what is it that it's doing? What it's doing is telling us and describing to us what a mind, how a mind operates that's really operating correctly. It's teaching us how to recognize when we are operating from love. So that also requires for us to recognize when we're not operating from love. So how can we tell when we don't have a free mind? Well, if you don't have a free mind, you still want to make. You're constantly trying to make things. You're constantly trying to control things. You're constantly trying to shape things. You are totally identifying with what you learned or experienced in the past. If your mind isn't free, you're constantly thinking about what's going to happen to you in the future. I wonder what's going to happen to me in the future. If your mind is not free, you're not being in the now right now. If your mind is not free, then you're busy trying to make a show. You're busy trying to draw attention to yourself. You're busy trying to make yourself more special than anyone else. When the mind is not free, it has a prescribed set of activities that it feels like it just has to do no matter what. When your mind is not free, you're just not present, and you're not letting love live you. So that's how you can tell when you're not free. That's how you can tell when your mind is not free. That's what can let you know what goal that you need to be working towards. Phoenix says, I let go of the past and the future, and I surrender to love in the present, in the now. So let's say that. I let go of the past and the future, and I surrender to love in the present, in the now. I let go of the past and the future, and I surrender to love in the present, in the now. I let go of the past and the future, and I surrender to love in the present, in the now. I let go of the past and the future. I surrender to love in the present, in the now. Diana says, teaching me how to know when I am operating in love and when I'm not. That's what we are learning. You know, we need to know the difference between love and what's not love. These spiritual texts are telling us over and over again, you all don't really know as much as you think you know. You don't know what love really is. That's y'all's problem. If they say over and over again, you don't know what love is. That's your problem. That's your only problem. You don't know what love is, and you don't know how to be in the present to allow love. That's the only problem that you have. That's the only problem that I have. We have to know the difference between truth and illusion. We must learn the difference between what's true and what's not. Do you know that you need to learn the difference between what's true love and what's not true love? And when you know the difference between what's truly love and how to express that love, and what fear is, which is not love, then you can finally start choosing for love. So a holy relationship then is where any two beings choose to come together, and each of them individually chooses to be in the presence of love. So let's choose to have a holy relationship with each other right now. Okay, everybody that's watching, let's choose to have a holy relationship with each other right now. Let's choose to have a loving, healing, innocent, beautiful, guiltless, innocent, relationship with each other right now. That's what a holy relationship is. Because we're here together, so we can do what this says together. We don't have to wait for our mates, our friends, our children, nobody else to join us. We can do it with each other, and we can do it with each other right now. So what is a holy relationship? A holy relationship is where two beings choose to come together, and each individual in the relationship chooses to be in the presence of love. So I'm coming together with you. You're coming together with me. We are coming together with each other. We are choosing to come together right now with each other. And we are choosing to be in the presence of love. So say that to yourself. I choose to be in the presence of love. I choose to be in the presence of love. I choose to be in the presence of love. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. Say that with me. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I'm glad to know that you've been thinking about me, Brittany, and I feel blessed to be in your presence right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. So we don't want this just to be another class that we just listen intellectually, and we don't allow ourselves to practice what we're talking about. Say to yourself, I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. Close your eyes. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. Say it. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. I'm going to say it for you. You choose to be in the presence of love right now. You choose to be in the presence of love right now. You choose to be in the presence of love right now. Say it to yourself. I choose to be in the presence of love right now. Then whatever happens, happens. So when you choose to be in the presence of love right now, and you say, you know what, I choose to be in the presence of love right now. Whatever happens, happens. I choose to be in the presence of love right now is the same as saying I choose to be in the presence of God right now. I choose to be in the presence of God right now. Whatever happens, happens. I choose to be in the presence of God right now. Whatever happens, happens. I choose to be in the presence of God right now. Whatever happens, happens. Perhaps one will sit in a chair and read a book while another one watches a movie. Perhaps they will come together and create a beautiful dinner. It really becomes quite irrelevant because the two people in a holy relationship will be moved by the mysterious energy of love itself. So when you're in a holy relationship, you're choosing to be in the presence of love with each other, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be doing the exact same physical things together. One person might be sitting in a chair, another one might be reading a book, another person might be watching a movie. Perhaps you'll come together and create a really beautiful dinner together. It really becomes quite irrelevant exactly what you're physically doing, because you're going to allow yourself to be moved by the mysterious energy of love. So if you're in a holy relationship, you are allowing your relationship to be moved by the mysterious energy of love. When you're in a holy relationship, you're both choosing together to be in the presence of love with each other. And when that moment is gone, it says the mysterious energy of love itself, which is the will of God, creating experience through his creations. So no matter what you all are doing together, what you are experiencing is the will of God creating an experience through you. In a holy relationship, in a truly holy relationship, it doesn't really matter what you're doing physically. You have chosen to come together to be in the presence of love with each other, and you're going to let the mysterious energy of love move you, and you're going to recognize that you are experiencing the will of God creating an experience through you. So what you are experiencing would be the will of God creating an experience through you. When you're in a holy relationship, you both individually choose to be in the presence of love with each other right now. And once you've chosen to be in the presence of love with each other right now, then whatever happens, happens. Perhaps one of you will sit in a chair, go for a walk, watch television. Another one will do a movie, or maybe you'll create a nice dinner together. But what you're going to be doing in a holy relationship is you're going to be letting the mysterious energy of love, which is the will of God, you're going to know that you're allowing the will of God to create an experience through you. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. Say it. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. You allow the will of God to create an experience through you. You allow the will of God to create an experience through you. Say it. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. Say it. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of love to create an experience through us. We allow the will of love to create an experience through us. We allow the will of love to create an experience through us. Let's say it, y'all. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. We allow the will of God to create an experience through us. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. I allow the will of God to create an experience through me. Like I said, this is an experiential experience. I'm not interested in us sitting around analyzing ideas. What I want us to do is to take advantage of our holy relationship. We have chosen to enter this relationship and to be in the presence of love together. We have agreed that we're going to let the mysterious energy of love move our relationship. And we are going to allow ourselves to allow God to have an experience through us. And once that moment is gone, then we're going to find ourselves in a new moment. This is giving very specific instructions. If you're listening, you will see that this is giving very explicit instructions about how to have a holy relationship. In a holy relationship, what is a holy relationship? It's a relationship where two beings or more choose to come together, which is what we did and what we're doing. We're choosing to come together. We're choosing to be in the presence of love. And choosing to be in the presence of love is the same as saying We are choosing to be in the presence of each other because you are love and I am love. So to choose to be in the presence of love is to choose to be in the presence of each other. Then whatever happens between us happens. Perhaps you will go about your business doing something. Perhaps I'll go about my physical business doing something. It's really irrelevant because we are allowing ourselves to be moved by the mysterious energy of love, which is the will of God, creating experience through God's creations, us. And when this moment is gone, it's gone. The mind of each of us simply finds itself in a new present moment. So now we're going to find ourselves in a new present moment. So the question is, that's right, Rhonda, I love being in a holy relationship with each one of you because that's what we're doing. Think about that. We're joining together live. We're choosing to be in the presence of love with each other. We're telling each other that we're willing to have God create an experience through us. And we're also saying when this moment is gone, it's gone. And now we're going to find ourselves in a new moment, giving us an additional opportunity to allow God to create an experience through us. So the question is, are you making or creating? Are you making or creating? Are you making or creating? That's on page 344. Are you making or creating? Are you making or creating? So let's hear that. The difference between making and creating is essential in the way of knowing. So what is it that you need to absolutely know? You need to know the difference between when you're making something and when you're creating something. Therefore, I want to invite you in this lesson's message. I want you to begin. Where do I want you to begin? I want you to begin to look at your own life. Begin to look at your own life. Begin to look at your own life. Where are you resting? Where are you resting in knowing? Where are you allowing creation to flow through you? Where are you allowing creation to flow through you in each moment? Where are you allowing freedom, which is love, which is creation? Where are you allowing freedom and creation and love, which is the same thing? Where are you allowing that to flow through you in each present moment? Where does your mind become absorbed? What is your mind absorbed with? Where does your mind become absorbed in what you think you must make happen? Where are you totally caught up in where you think you need to make something happen? I'll tell you, wherever you are experiencing fear and anxiety, that's where you're trusting in your own strength separate from God. Wherever you experience fear and anxiety, that's where you are dependent on your own strength separate from God. Wherever you're feeling anxiety, fear, or guilt is where you are absorbed in what you think you need to do and what you must make happen. So you need to come to discern the difference between making and creating, and notice the quality of the feeling inside you when you are in each of those states. In other words, notice how you feel when you are allowing creation to flow through you in every present moment versus how you are feeling when your mind is absorbed in what you think you need to make happen. And notice the difference between those two states of consciousness, those two states of mind. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen is if you are diligent, you will come to see that whenever you are in the mode of making love, whenever you are in the making love mode, whenever you're in the mode of making life conform to what you think it ought to be, you are suffering. You're in suffering. So how can a person tell when they are in suffering? How can a person know what's causing their suffering? would you like to know what causes your suffering? According to the way of mastery, what causes your suffering is you're in the mood, you're in the mode of making life conform to what you think it ought to be. If you're trying to make life conform to your script, you're in suffering. Wherever you are suffering is where you're trying to make life conform to your script. If there's a person that you are experiencing suffering with, that's a person that you are consciously or unconsciously trying to make conform to what you think they ought to be. If you're in a relationship and you're suffering in that relationship, then you're in the mode of making love. And the mode of making love is the mode of, I'm going to make this conform to what I think it ought to be. I'm going to make this be the way I think it should be. I'm going to make them be the way I think they should be. That is what puts a person in suffering. So wherever you're suffering, that is where you're trying to have it your way. You're trying to make things conform to your scripts about how you think it should be, according to the way of mastery. And you can see it's right here on the page in front of you. If you are diligent, you will come to see that whenever you are in the mode of making love, making life conform to what you think it ought to be, you are in suffering. That's right, Shannon. I made a lot of love. That's why it's so funny when we say that term, we're going to make love. And what that means is I'm going to try to make this situation conform to what I think it ought to be. I'm going to try to make everything conform to the way I think it ought to be. I'm going to try to make a person conform to how I think they ought to be. And that's why I am in suffering. So that's right. Suffering equals trying to make it my way. Suffering equals trying to make it my way. That's right, Shannon. Diana, that's right. Making life conform to what I think it should be. That's suffering. That's what suffering is. Now, when you're creating, what are you doing? When you're creating, you're enjoying the miracle of creation itself. When you're creating, you're enjoying the miracle of love itself. Now, when you're creating, you are in a very unique position when you are creating. So what does that mean? It means you both are that one through whom creation flows, and you are also the witness of, or the observer of, the act of creation. So when you are creating, you are the one that the creation is flowing through, and you are also the one that's witnessing creation, the act of creation. And where does the act of creation come from? It comes from flowing from the mind and heart of that creative center I have called Abba, who is but love. Okay, so what did it just tell us? When you are creating, you are enjoying the miracle of creation itself. You're in a very unique position because you're the one that the creation is coming through, and you're also the one that's observing it and witnessing it. And you realize that it's all coming from God, that all creation comes from love. All creation is love. There is no difference between creation and love. Love is creation. Creation is love. Fear makes, love creates. Fear makes, love creates. Fear makes, love creates. Say that to yourself. Fear makes, love creates. Making love isn't a good thing. Making love creates suffering because making love is coming from a script that you're setting up about how things should be and how people and things should conform to the way that you think it ought to be. That is making love. Creating love is being present in the moment, allowing love to flow through you and also being in observation of it too. So celebrate. You're supposed to celebrate. You're supposed to embrace the uniqueness of yourself. The fact that you have your own unique expression of yourself is something that you should celebrate. The fact that you have your own unique expression of yourself should be something that you embrace. And in a holy relationship, I would celebrate your uniqueness. I wouldn't be trying to get you to conform to my idea of what I think you ought to be and what you ought to want and what you ought to be doing. So we should be celebrating each other right now, celebrating each other's uniqueness, because you are the one who gets to experience love. You're the one who gets to create love. You're the one who gets a chance to observe and witness the flow of love. You are the one who gets to experience love. Do you know that you're the one that gets to experience love? Do you know that you're the one who gets to create love? Do you know that you're the one who gets a chance to observe and witness the flow of love? And if you don't understand that that's miraculous, what's miraculous? It's miraculous that you are unique and that you are a unique expression of God. It's miraculous that you're the one who gets to experience love, that you're the one who gets to create love, that you're the one who gets to observe and witness the flow of love. That's miraculous. Then if you don't understand that that's miraculous, then you need to spend as much time as you can alone without moving a muscle until you get it. Until you get that you need to be celebrating you. Until you get that you need to be embracing the uniqueness of who you are. Until you get that you are so blessed because you get a chance to experience love, you get a chance to create love, you get a chance to observe love, you get a chance to witness the flow of love. And if you don't understand, if you don't understand that that is miraculous, then the way of Master said, you need to spend some time alone. You need to spend some time to yourself until you get it. Because that is the truth. That is the truth of your reality. Now, if it's your reality, it's timeless. If it's your reality, it's eternal. If it's your reality, it far transcends the boundaries of the physical body. And if it's reality, it far transcends the boundaries of your ideas about your physical self. If it's reality, it's going to go beyond the boundary of your ideas. Reality goes beyond the limits of your ideas about your physical self. Reality goes beyond your ideas about your personality. Reality goes beyond your ideas about your personal history, your children, your mates, and your bank accounts. If you are experiencing what's timeless, if you're experiencing the truth, then it far transcends everything that's temporarily arising in the field of form. So what did the Way of Mastery just tell us? If it's the truth, it's eternal. If it's real, it never ends. If it's real, it never ends. If it's real, it never dies. If it's real, it's timeless, it's eternal. So if something is real, it goes far beyond the boundaries of your physical body. What is real goes far beyond the boundaries of your ideas about your physical self, your ideas about your personality, your ideas about your personal history, your ideas about your children, your ideas about your mates, your ideas about your material accounts, your bank accounts. If it's real, it transcends everything that is temporarily rising in this form field, the physical field. If it's real. So as the holy child of God, as a child of God, as the Holy Son of God, as that created spirit, birth to create. What were you birthed to create? You have an ability to be aware of the flow of love. You have the ability to be aware of the flow of love The flow of love is unborn. The flow of love is undying. You will never lose the flow of love. Listen to me very carefully. You can never lose a love that's real. You can never lose a love that's real. You can never lose a love that's real. You can never and will never, ever lose a love that's real. If it's a real love, you can't lose it. If it's a real love, you cannot lose it. So any love that you think you've lost was just a special, pleasant form of fear. Anything, any love that you think that you have lost, you can never lose a love that's real. You can lose a love that's made, but you can't lose a love that's created. You can never lose a love that is real. Okay, so the way of master is saying, as the Holy Son of God, the power of your ability, the power of your beingness to allow love to flow through you is unlimited forever. You have the power to allow love to flow through you in an unlimited way from now on. You have the power to allow love to flow through you in an unlimited way from now on. You have the power to allow love to flow through you in an unlimited way forever, and it will never be taken away. Real love will never be taken away. As the Holy Son of God, as the holy mind of love, your capacity to enjoy the very act of being one, your capacity to enjoy the very act of being the one through whom love is extended, your capacity to enjoy the very act of being the one through whom love is extended is without equal in all of creation. And your capacity to enjoy the very act of being the one through whom love is extended is without equal in all of creation. And it too is never taken from you. What is it that's never taken from you? Your capacity to enjoy the very act of being the one through whom love is extended is unequal. It is unequal in all of creation, and it too is never taken from you. So those three aspects are really one thing. Those three things are the truth of who you are. They are the truth of who you are. Anytime your mind has fallen under the power of the egoic mind, anytime your mind has fallen under the power of your ego, whenever your mind is operating under the power of your fear, whenever your mind is operating under the power of your ego, anytime your mind has fallen under the power of the egoic mind, which is just to choose wrongly and insanely for a moment. So how can you tell when you're under the control of your ego? You choose wrongly. You choose insanely. You choose for attack. You choose for separation. You choose for anger. You choose for guilt. That is when your egoic mind, that's when you're under the power of your ego. It is when you choose wrongly. How can you tell when you're choosing wrongly? You are insane. Whenever you're choosing anything other than love, you are insane. Now, even when you're choosing insanely, even when you're choosing with fear, even when you're choosing with guilt, the reality of your being never goes away. The reality of you as love, the reality of you as love never goes away. Even if when you are choosing insanely, even when you are choosing wrongly, your reality of love, the reality that you are truly a being of love, the reality that you are a love being never goes away. It never changed, and it's never been altered in any way. No matter what you think about yourself, no matter when you thought wrongly, no matter when you've chosen insanely, no matter when you've gotten angry, no matter when you've attacked, no matter when you've gone off, the reality of your being never goes away. The love that you are, the beautiful, precious being that you are, it never changed. It was never altered by any of your thoughts, any of your insane choices, or any of your insane reality. All that has occurred when you choose insanely, that means choose for anything other than love. Then keep it simple. How can I tell that I've chosen insanely? I've chosen for something other than love. I've chosen something other than peace. Well, all that has occurred is that you have used time. When you're angry, when you're upset, when you're mad, when you've chosen insanely, you just used time to do what? When you're angry, when you're insane, when you've chosen wrongly, you have chosen to use time to lose awareness of the truth. I'm angry. I have lost awareness of the truth. I feel afraid. I have lost awareness of the truth. I feel guilty. I have lost the awareness of the truth. I'm using time to lose awareness. When you choose insanely, when you try to make everything be the way you want it to be and get mad when it doesn't go the way you think it should go, and you're making love, which is making fear, you still didn't affect the fact that your being is love and that you are loved. It's just that when you choose insanely, when you choose with anger, you are using time, but you're using time to lose awareness of what the truth is. And in the next moment, guess what? In the next moment, you're free to make another choice. I might be angry in this moment, but I can choose to let it go in the next moment. I may be in judgment of myself in this moment, but I can choose to let the judgment go in the next moment. I might be unhappy in this moment, but I could choose to let go of the unhappiness in the next moment. Because when you're angry, when you've chosen insanely, what are you doing? You are using time to lose awareness of the truth. But what's cool about the next moment? The next moment you are free to choose again. In the next moment, you are free to make another choice. 1 moment from now, you're free to make another choice. You're free to make another choice in this moment, and you're also free to make another choice in the next moment. So the mind that is healed, the healed mind, is the mind that is a mind that accepts its true knowing. When you accept what we've heard, when you accept what we heard, when you accept what we have heard from the Way of Mastery this evening, when you read it over and over and over again until it becomes the attitude that you have, then you have a healed mind. Because a healed mind is a mind that accepts what it knows, that it's a mind that accepts the truth about itself. It's a mind that's no longer using each moment to stay mad and upset about something because it's trying to make everything conform to the way that it wants things to be. A mind that is healed is a mind that knows it can choose again in every moment. And a healed mind is a mind that accepts its true knowingness. So here's the prayer. Here's the prayer. Here's the prayer. Here's the prayer. You see the prayer? You see the prayer? You see the prayer? It starts on page 344. I and my Father are one. Only love is real. I cannot possibly be a victim of what I see. I cannot possibly be a victim of what I see. Since what I see is what I choose to see. Since what I see is what I choose to see. And if I choose to see with the eyes of love, and if I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence. All I see is perfect innocence. And the will of my Father clearly at work, and the will of my Creator clearly at work. I and my Creator are one. Only love is real. I cannot possibly be a victim of what I see. Since what I see is what I choose to see. And if I choose to see with the eyes of love, And if I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence. All I see is perfect innocence. And the will of my Father clearly at work. Okay, mighty companions, we're going to stop at this particular point. Take a deep breath. I want to thank you for, I'm going to do a quick little ending that'll bring it all together. I want to thank you for tuning in to The Way of Mastery with me, Earl Purdy, here on Facebook Live. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, as I am a full-time teacher, I would really appreciate it. Please go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, and you can make a financial expression of appreciation for my teaching ministry. You can also use Venmo and just use the email earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com if you want to use Venmo. I'm available for one-on-one sessions that include using my 40 years of experience as an astrologer and a numerologist, along with the Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery. And we can bring insight into whatever it is you think you are going through right now in your life. If you're ready to let go of blocks, I'm here to help. Just go to my website and look under Clarity Sessions, and it will explain in detail exactly what I offer, and you can self-book right then. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do hardcore Course in Miracles for Course in Miracles students at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do a Course in Miracles on Facebook Live and before a live audience. Go to the Earl Purdy page here on Facebook. Please follow my page and like my page, because you'll be notified whenever I'm live. If you don't have a Facebook account, all you have to do is type in www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. And you can still watch the live presentations. If you go directly to this link, even if you don't have a Facebook account, go to www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. Okay, let's wrap this up. It was so powerful. It was so powerful. I needed to hear this. I needed to hear this. Let me find what I want to hear. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna complete this. We're going to complete this. We're going to complete this by saying this prayer one more time. I and my Father are one. Only love is real. I cannot possibly be a victim of what I see, since what I see is what I choose to see. And if I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence and the will of my Father clearly at work. So what I want you to do is allow yourself to hear this, and I'm going to say it for you, and I want you to just receive it. Receive it. You and your Creator are one. Only love is real. Only love is real. You cannot possibly be a victim of what you see. You cannot possibly be a victim of what you see. You cannot possibly be a victim of what you see. You cannot possibly be a victim of what you see, since what you see is what you choose to see. What you see is what you choose to see. What you see is what you choose to see. What you see is what you choose to see. And if you choose to see with the eyes of love, And if you choose to see with the eyes of love, and if you choose to see with the eyes of love, all you see is perfect innocence. All you see is perfect innocence. All you see is perfect innocence. If you choose to see with the eyes of love, all you see is perfect innocence. If you choose to see with the eyes of love, all you see is perfect innocence. If I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence. Let's say it. If I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence. If I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence. And the will of my Father clearly at work. And the will of my Father clearly at work. And all I see is perfect innocence. And the will of my Father clearly at work. If I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence and the will of my Father clearly at work. If I choose to see with the eyes of love, all I see is perfect innocence and the will of my Father clearly at work. Mighty companions, you did incredible with me tonight. We practiced our holy relationship. We consciously chose together to be in the presence of love with each other. We decided that we want to allow God to create through us so that we can create a love that never ends, as opposed to making love, which is us trying to make up what we think everything ought to be and how we think everybody ought to be for us, which is a form of fear. So we now have made the decision that in our holy relationship, only love is real. We've made the decision to say that we can't possibly be the victims of what we see, since what we see is what we choose to see. And we were also told that if you see with the eyes of love, what's going to happen? How can you tell when you are seeing with the eyes of love? All you're going to see is perfect innocence. Your innocence and everyone else's innocence, which is the will of our Creator clearly at work. Mighty companions, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in with me for the way of mastery. May the course be with you. See you next time, and share this video. Thanks.